Hello, this is a heater core replacement on a 1997 GMC Sierra, two-wheel drive with a 5-liter or 305 cubic inch engine, and has air conditioning. So started getting steam out through the window defrosters and whatnot. Obviously there was a leak in the heater core. So if you look online, you'll find tons of sites that'll, and on the paper manuals you get in the automotive stores like Chilton's or whatever, they tend to give you directions which are to basically rip out the whole dash, including lowering the steering wheel, and not a fun job, maybe a 5-hour job. However, one other fellow on YouTube pointed out a shortcut. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this, so it's very simple actually. So just come in closer here. On the right hand side there is the blower motor. It's just a cover, which is pretty easy to take off. Just pull on it. And then over here is the heater core assembly. Basically I've already taken it apart. There's the, when it's up, it sort of looks like that. Very simple. And basically you take out some bolts. There's these ones here. Where do they go? I'm losing stuff all night. It's frustrating. They're black 7/32 head, and with a wood screw type thread on them. There's one at the front and one at the back. There's the other one. And I can't keep these ones separate. And then so there's one here and one on the other side right against the firewall. Bit tricky to get at. I don't know if I'll get it back in. I don't think it really matters. It's just a cover. Just keep it from rattling. Truck rattles enough without that. And then there's these ones here, which are gold in color. See that? There you go. 7/32 head again. Similar thread. And there's two at the end here. You need a ratchet to get those out because it's tight. And then over here there's, I believe, 3, maybe 4. I only count 3 right now. So there was one at the front here. And you can't really see it. You can see it way at the back. The assembly comes together where it goes through the firewall. And where it goes through the firewall, you'll find a screw on each side of the pipes. So basically, now that I've got the screws out, there seems to be something at the back that's holding together. I can't get it off, like a hinge maybe, or some sort of pin. So instead of ripping it off, I just bent it. And there's enough room in there to pull the heater core out. One little trick here, up there at the top of the heater core, you'll find a clip and another small bolt. So that comes out, heater core hopefully twists out, and you got to play with the hoses on the other side. That's all common sense mechanics. Look at other sites for that. And Bob's your uncle, we hope. Thanks. Hello everyone. This is the second day of my putting the heater core into a 1997 GMC Sierra with air conditioning, 5-liter engine. And I just want to close this off and show you a few things to tidy it up at the end. The reinstall of the heater core started off with me installing a clip that was inside this housing, which holds the heater core up. I just installed the clip loosely, and then I positioned the heater core inside the housing and tightened the clip, and then mounted the bottom plate on. The best way to mount the bottom plate on is to move it up vertically as opposed to trying to angle it in, because the back of the housing catches onto the heater core, and that's what was preventing from getting it out when I was trying to take it apart. So there was no hinge or clip at the back. It's just the bolts that you'll see in a picture that I've taken of it. So it all comes apart quite easily, but it comes straight down. The other thing that prevents it from coming straight down and you getting it back up straight up is there's when you're trying to get it in here, the hoses that go through the firewall are in the way a little bit, which sort of holds the whole housing together. And the insulation against the firewall, you sort of have to play with that and get it around it. All in all, though, not too bad. So I just want to move around to the front now, and I'll show you a couple other things. So on the front here, what I've done is I wanted to flush out the radiator since I was into a cooling job now, which I didn't intend to do. So here are the two hoses. You can't really see them. Here are the two hoses coming out of the firewall from the heater core. And what I've done is I've taken the heater hose and I've done a bypass using a piece of tube from the old heater core. I just cut it off the old heater core, double clamped it on this end because this hose is a larger diameter than the pipe. This one fits fine, and that will allow stuff to clear, because what I want to do is clean and flush the rad. So to do that, I've used some pressed stone cleaner, and you have to take, pardon me, I try to get the light here in the right position. So way down the bottom on the right hand side, you can just barely make out there's a clamp down there. There's not a clamp, a valve. Petcock valve they're called. And out to the right hand side of that you'll see a little nib coming out. So that's for a 3/8 inch hose, inside diameter. What I used for a hose to help with the draining was I took the hose off one of those coolant testers that you put in the top of a rad. It happens to be the same diameter hose, so I didn't have to go find a hose. That was easy. The problem was getting that valve out, because it's kind of a bizarre design. So here's the valve. Let me get my light set up here. Here's the valve. Here. And you'll notice, you can see it's threaded at one end. In the left, near my fingers, you'll see a little recessed area. That's where there's a rubber O-ring, which is now inside the radiator. So the rubber O-ring has to fit inside here. And when I took it apart, you'll see here, these two pieces broke off. It's hard to see in the video, but they're actually, if I can hold it up. Yeah, you can barely see it. There's a notch on one end of them. So when this thing screws in, like this, the two notches, they hook into something inside the radiator, probably another sort of rubber diaphragm of some sort, and that's what pulls this thing. So you have to sort of push this thing in hard, and then turn it, make sure the threads align so it screws in nice and easily. When it broke, I could not reassemble it, so that caused me a day delay in doing this job, because these things are hard to find. They're not on the internet. All the aftermarket ones on the internet are the wrong type. So I had to go to my local radiator shop, and the boys, they were very, very kind and found one off, searched around their shop and found one off an old rad and gave me a new one. Well, a new used one. The other thing that I noticed that I had a problem with, so always these little sub jobs that delay you, is, if you can see it down there again, is that little hose that comes out to the right. There we go, that's a better view. So you see that little nib coming out to the right? It was completely blocked. So I used compressed air to blow it out from the inside, and it was just full of junk. So that little sub job took a while. So now that I've got cleaner in the rad, and all the water's out, all the original antifreeze is out, let's take a quick look in here. So you see it's you can't really see, but it's actually just clean water. It's a little bit of leftover antifreeze from the engine. And so I'm going to start it up. It's going to run for about, I'm going to drive it around for 6 hours as per the directions on the Prestone cleaner bottle. Drain it again, maybe flush it with another round of water, and then put in fresh antifreeze, distilled water, and then hook these hoses back up to the heater core, and then we're all done. So it's easy to do, and have fun. Good luck. Bye now.